1, 2, 3, 4.
Chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling, chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling, chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now.
What up, y'all? It's Babylon 5 Podcast. It's your boy, Jermaine Event. How are you guys doing? This is episode 161. Before I go, I just want to say, again, how are you guys doing? I feel like I didn't leave enough time to... It didn't feel sincere to me, man. How are you guys doing? I hope everything is going great with you guys. Yeah. I mean that sincerely, man. I hope you guys are doing well. But as I was saying, this is episode 161, which we have to call Atlanta, ladies and gentlemen. Or it could have been Forever I Love Atlanta, Forever I Love Atlanta, which is a reference to Killer Mike, I believe. Just back from my childhood. I believe that's Killer Mike who said that. Anywho, this episode 161 is called Atlanta. So we will definitely, in this episode, talk about the return of Atlanta. This is season 4, the final season, actually, of Atlanta. So we are definitely going to talk about Atlanta here, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys are watching this video, I'm recording it the way I do. I uploaded the video on YouTube. I don't know if you guys have seen it. You guys could follow me on YouTube. You guys could see this mug of mine here on YouTube if you guys want to, if you're interested in that, if that sounds cool to you. But you'll see there that your boy, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you see my face all the time, but you'll see that your boy is rocking the glasses. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to talk about these glasses. These eyes have seen a lot of things, but they never gonna see another love like I had with you. We're gonna talk about these eyes. We are gonna talk about UFC Vegas 60, headlined by Corey Sandhagen versus Song Yadong. We are gonna talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. And we are gonna talk about fucking House of the Dragon. We fucking have to talk about that because there was a lot of questions I had about Game of Thrones that were answered, and then I got more questions. One of the big questions I had in Game of Thrones was, where are all the black people? Where are all the black people? And then all the niggas with their dicks cut off, the fucking slave soldiers, are the darkest people on here. Go fuck yourselves. So I was like, all right, let me watch House of the Dragon, because I seen a black dude with white hair. I seen some black dudes with white hair. I was like, let me watch and see what's going on. And it answered some of my questions. So we're definitely going to talk about that. And if you guys would like to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. You guys could email this podcast at babylon5podcast@gmail.com. You guys can hit that like button anywhere that you're listening to this podcast, or give it 5 stars if that's what you're so inclined to do wherever you're listening to this podcast. I'd appreciate it so much. If you guys would like to follow this podcast on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/Babylon5. I'll post one day if you trust me. If you guys would like to get some merchandise, head on over to teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. And lastly, don't just be my Niji, be my patrons. Head on over to patreon.com/Babylon5Pod. You guys could even email me at Babylon5Pod@gmail.com, because I accidentally gave somebody the wrong Gmail. So then I was like, let me see if I can create it, and it was available. Now it's like, why didn't I just use that from the first time, since I'm just doing the anywho? Because, Twitter and all that shit, they don't allow for, I don't have enough characters to put cast. So it's got to stay pod. So that's why that is. But it is what it is, and as it is what it is, I'm wearing these glasses, as I'm in my 30s, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in my 30s, and 32, and my vision ain't what she used to be. Oh, now she ain't what she used to be. Vision is going, man. It was like, I felt like I had, like, ironically, like, some of the best vision out of anybody I knew. Never needed glasses. I felt like I had perfect vision from so far away. And I could see, like, I'd go to the eye exam and I could read every single thing effortlessly. And now that's definitely not the case. It's not the case. And then the lady tells me, she's like, yo, bruh. Well, she didn't say it like this, but I'm paraphrasing. She was like, yo, bruh. Yo, my nigga. She didn't say, see, I'm paraphrasing. She was like, my nigga, your orbital nerves are much larger than they should be. So you are going to develop glaucoma. And I was like, oh, word. There's like anything we could do to try to prevent this shit? And she's like, nah, bruh. It is what it is. And I'm going to let you, she's like, I'm just letting you know so you're not surprised when it starts to happen. And, just like being the kind of guy that I am, like throughout my youth, I always associated glaucoma with like, just like, oh, I got glaucoma, I got to smoke weed or something. And then it's like, I was like, does it treat it? And it's like, it definitely does not treat it. It's probably just helping somebody with the pain. Apparently it's excruciating pain that I have to look forward to. There's no like known treatment for it. You're just gonna have these excruciating headaches while you're losing your vision. So a lot of people usually either pass out, vomit from how painful this is. So that's what's about to happen with me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna go blind. But I'm in my 30s and my vision ain't what it used to be. So I'm wearing these glasses you see here. I think they look rather nice. Happy trails to Jose Aldo. He I don't mean to be so gloom, it's just like, fuck. I guess like the more I talk about it, the more real it seems to me. Like, god damn. I was listening to Tom Segura's podcast and they were talking about like some TikToks or some shit they were watching. And the one guy was like, man, I would hate to ever like end up in a place where like I have to jack off but I can't see my dick. And I was like, fuck. I'm going to go blind. I was like, fuck. That could be my life. Oh my God. As we go. Happy trails to Jose Aldo, one of the best to ever do it. He was doing it long before I knew what mixed martial arts was. I'm happy to say I got to see Jose. I saw Jose fight Marlon Moraes. He fought Marlon Moraes on the same card that Kamaru Usman fought Kobe Covington the first time. That card was stacked. You had Brandon Moreno versus Kai Kara France one on that card. That card was stacked, all right? That card was stacked. I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, that's Amanda Nunes versus Jermaine Durandamy. And that's the first time Volk beat Max Holloway. That card was stacked, ladies and gentlemen. That card was stacked. And I'm thankful to happen to have at least gotten to see Jose fight. One of the best to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? Long before I knew what mixed martial arts was. As I said, I came in toward like Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey, John Jones era. So like, so I wasn't really there. Unfortunately, like part of my introduction to Jose is Conor McGregor knocking him out, unfortunately. But as like I was watching the Weasel talk about it, and he was saying how like I don't think it was the Weasel, it was Ariel Helwani that tweeted he thinks like one of the most important things about Jose's legacy is how much he didn't let the loss to Conor really like affect him like that. It didn't really like set him back. He kept moving, kept pushing, you know what I'm saying? So, and he became the champion again, I believe. And then lost to Max Holloway. I believe that's the case. Maybe he didn't become the champion again. I could be wrong there, but I believe that's how it happened. Anywho, I came in on the tail end of Jose Aldo as in his reign, before the Conor, came in at the Conor knockout. Conor was captivating. I probably wouldn't be here, you know what I'm saying, without Conor. I seen some things. I like John Jones, but there was never like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there wasn't that Conor effect. It is what it is. But happy trails to Jose Aldo and whatever he does, man. If it's boxing, hopefully not no bare knuckle shit. We don't need to see that. But whatever he does, man, happy trails to him. Congratulations on his son, his newborn son he just posted about. Happy trails to Jose Aldo. And at UFC Vegas 60, headlined by Corey Sandhagen versus Song Yadong, man. This was a good fight. This was a really good fight between Song Yadong and Corey Sandhagen. I didn't know just how powerful. Like, Song knocked out Moraes, but fuck, who wasn't knocking out Moraes these days? They just announced that Marlon Moraes is going to fight for PFL, and I'm just like, my nigga. Like, the wind has been knocking this man over. He's going to roll over and be real dazed if the wind picks up. No disrespect. Even though that was very disrespectful, I'm just saying, I don't know if fighting again is the fucking move. And I think if anything we've seen lately, these UFC guys, these older UFC guys, think they can just go to PFL and beat up on these guys. They think it's lower level talent, and we're seeing what's happening to people like Anthony Pettis. We're seeing what's happening to some of these guys. We saw I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to be it's going to be the same. More of the same when Moraes goes to PFL. I'm not into it. So, yes, Song Yadong knocked out Marlon Moraes, but who the fuck wasn't knocked? Did I knock out Marlon Moraes? I probably knocked out Marlon Moraes during that whole run, because fucking everybody was knocking out Marlon. I did say I felt so bad for Marlon. I said that. I said that right here. I like the way that camera is right now. I just moved it around. When I start to throw up images here, I almost forgot to throw up images. Let me throw up this image. Corey Sandhagen versus Song Yadong. Y'all like that? Y'all like the way that looks if you guys are watching? I was like, if I throw in pictures now while I'm talking, then that could eliminate a lot of the need for me to even go back in and re-edit shit. You know what I'm saying? Let's kill two birds with one stone, and I could just chop up the clips here. Corey Sandhagen versus Song Yadong was a great fight. On two of the judges' scorecards, they had it 2-2 going into the fifth round. One judge had it 3-1 in favor of Corey Sandhagen. But unfortunately, the doctor stepped in and stopped this fight before the fifth round because Song Yadong just had a nasty cut over his eye, over his left eye, and pretty soon it got cut open from a sharp elbow, a nice elbow, nicely placed elbow from Corey Sandhagen. It cut him right above the eyebrow, and then in the second round, and after the second round, the doctor comes in, looks at it. He's like, yeah, I don't know. You gotta watch it closely. If it gets too worse, I might have to stop it. Goes through the third round. Doctor comes in. He's like, I don't know about that, man. Like he's gonna need to protect it. Like is what the doctor's saying. And then at the end of that round, at the end of the fourth round, the doctor, like Song Yadong was saying, like he couldn't even see out of his eye. The doctor came in. He looked at it for a second and was just like, "Nah." Kane Turner, he was like, I don't like what I'm seeing." So Herb waves it off. It was a great fight. Great fight. Song Yadong ranked 10, fighting Corey, who I believe was number 4. I don't see Song losing any stock in this fight. Song looked amazing in this fight. He was super fast. He was super skillful. Maybe just like, I don't know, man. Like maybe insert a little more wrestling too. Is like it's mixed martial arts, but he's so fucking strong. He was able to get Corey's back when they were on the ground. He showed pretty decent jits against Corey, who I think is a pretty good jiu-jitsu practitioner. So Song looked great, even in defeat via doctor stoppage in between the rounds. Like, my hat's off to Song Yadong. I can't wait to see him fight again. He's definitely made a fan out of me. I just be low key hating on that whole Uriah Faber camp, low key. But like that's like Garbrandt and all them niggas over there. You know what I'm saying? I be just with that whole. They were obsessed with TJ. And then even, wasn't it like a year ago, Uriah was calling for a fight with TJ Dillashaw? Like, are you fucking crazy? So I was just like hating on that whole camp. I was just hating on that whole camp, like, admittedly. I was hating. And, but Song Yadong looked fucking great. He's 24 years old, insanely powerful, insanely fast. He's insanely far ahead on his mixed martial arts journey. So I cannot wait to see where Song Yadong goes from here, because he looked great. And as for Corey Sandhagen, the victor, to the victor goes the next opponent. For everybody goes the next opponent. Corey said he would either obviously like to fight either Chito Vera, who's number 5 currently, or Merab. Is Merab number 3? I just, like, damn, as I said that, I was like, that way, I guess that would make more sense. Why is Merab, but it's just like, why is Merab ranked over Corey Sandhagen? I don't even understand how that would work. See, now I gotta look into this, because it just doesn't make any sense to me when I say it out loud. Yeah, Merab is 3 over Corey Sandhagen. I don't even understand that. So I really, like, that's the fight that I would most likely want to see, is Corey Sandhagen versus Merab. I don't understand how Merab is honestly ahead of Corey Sandhagen. Because he beat Jose? I don't agree with that at all, man. Happy trails to Jose. I thought Jose looked better. I thought Jose looked good in that fight and could have arguably won that fight, is what I felt like. Control time only factors in if the damage is equal along with other shit. It's the last thing that comes into play. So, like, don't talk to me about, like, oh, he controlled him for this amount of time. Don't even put that stat up there. Because he definitely wasn't outstriking Jose. Definitely wasn't outstriking Jose. Anywho, that's the fight I want to see. I think that's a real test for both gentlemen. Because Corey doesn't necessarily have the wrestling. I think he has decent jiu-jitsu. He's easily the better striker. He's one of the more mobile guys, but Merab is going to be on him relentless for those takedowns. So I'm very interested in seeing that fight, ladies and gentlemen. And also on this card, man, there were some pretty interesting fighters on this card. Sorry, I'm getting pretty loud. We had Anthony Hernandez, who finished Barriout. Forget this nigga's name, low key. What is this nigga? Barriout. What is it? Yeah, Marc-Andre Barriout. He was fucking all over Marc-Andre Barriault. They were talking about Barriault was like a cardio fucking kickboxer. I'm like, why did I have to look it up? He's right there. If I would have looked at him, I probably would have remembered his name. But Anthony Hernandez, when he beat Rodolfo Vieira, I thought Vieira got tired. He made some mistakes. He went for broke, wasn't able to finish Hernandez, and then Hernandez was able to capitalize off of that mistake. So, I'm not saying he got lucky, but I just didn't. I thought Barriault would be, had the cardio advantage here. I thought he was the better striker. Turns out Anthony Hernandez is better than Barriault, and he's better than him everywhere. Better than him, and he was all over this man. Finished him in the third round, all over this man for 3 rounds. Dude, he picked this man up, slammed him on his head. Anthony Hernandez is a dog. All right, he was all over Barriault. And when they asked Hernandez, who do you want to fight next? He was like, I don't follow the UFC. I just show up and fight. So whoever y'all want me to fight, just let me know. That's fucking badass. All right? Hernandez is a monster. All right? Be on the lookout for Hernandez. Also on this card, we had RoboCop. We had my boy Gregory Rodriguez versus Chitty Bang Bang. And that was a fucking crazy fight. Also a nasty cut in that fight. Rodriguez got caught with a front kick, I believe. Or there was so many, Damon Jackson caught Pat Sabatini with this front kick, just caught him perfect on the chin. So I believe it was a knee. It was a knee from Chitty, and it caught Gregory early in the front, split him wide open between the eyes, right at the corner between the eyebrows. Split him wide the fuck open. He's bleeding all over the place. Doctor's like, yo, if this gets any worse, we have to stop it, but it doesn't matter. They let the second round go on, and Gregory finishes Chitty Bang Bang RoboCop. This guy's a beast, man. He's coming out of PFL, I believe. Either PFL or LFA. And he's on a way, I believe, a 2-fight streak so far in the UFC. He's looked fantastic. He had some scares. I mean, that was a tough fight in the first round for him, especially with the taking that kick, man. It was just crazy how people were getting caught early like that, like multiple times. And it was just really bad cut, or oh shit, he got cracked really hard by a knee or a fucking up kick, didn't see it. It was pretty cool. So shout out to RoboCop. I cannot wait to see his fight. If you did not see RoboCop's fight, Gregory Hernandez versus Chitty I don't really know how to pronounce the last name. It's pretty African. Go check that fight out from UFC Vegas 60. Also, check out that Anthony Hernandez versus Marc-Andre Barriault, because that fight was pretty phenomenal. There's no fights next week. Week off from fights, and then after that, we will be back with Mackenzie Dern versus Yan Xiaonan. Yeah, Yan Xiaonan. Co-main event is Randy Brown in action versus Francisco Trinaldo. That should be, that's an interesting fight. I'm going to go with Randy Brown just off the top of my head looking at that, but we're going to talk about that next week, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to talk about that next week. Right now, we are going to talk about what I believe to be one of the greatest sitcoms of all time, Atlanta. Ladies and gentlemen, Atlanta. From when I first saw it, shout out to the homie Brett Heisel, all right, because he put me on to this. I was hating on Childish Gambino as a music artist, so I didn't care to check out that show. I didn't think he was too funny in Community, and I saw some of his stand-up And at the time, I thought he was so corny, I wasn't rocking with it. Since then, I've gone back and seen it, and I was like, damn, I'm exactly like this nigga. I'm like, everything he's saying here, like, everything he's talking about, fuck. I'm exactly like this nigga. And, but, Atlanta Season 4, the return of the Mac, ladies and gentlemen. They hit us with the 2 episodes here. First episode was called The Most Atlanta, which starts with basically a reenactment. I love how Atlanta does these things, like, because I remember, like, I showed my wife, she had never seen that lady reading Vince Staples' North North lyrics. So I showed her that, and then later that day there was a new episode of Atlanta, and they recreated that woman, but she's reading Paperboy's lyrics. Like, I was giving my kids a ride to school, and they were playing this on the radio. Like, you know what I'm saying? They redid that. So in this one, in the season opener, it starts out that, like, people are looting what looks to be a Target. And Darius, the homie Darius, this is all spoiler alerts if you haven't seen season 4, the first 2 episodes yet. This is all spoiler alerts. And for House of Dragon, I'm going to take you guys right here. It's all spoilers. It's all you getting from here on out. It's all spoilers. So Darius goes in there, and he's not there to loot. He's there to return something. He wants to return something. And, like, he goes to the counter, and like, he's like, hey, I got this air fryer. I need to return it. Like, I got it as a gift. I just need to return it. I don't have the receipt. And they're like, yo, you crazy? You don't see what's going on in here? And he's like, yeah, it kind of looks like a Marshall's in here. Like, which is funny because, you know, Marshall's is just a trashy little convenience store like that, or a trashy little store like that. Whatever you call those kind of stores. Is it big box? Nah, it's no big box. It's just like, is it clothing stores? But it's just like a mess in there. Marshall's is, I don't know, it is what it is. It's a funny joke. And then they have the heavy-set white lady in the wheelchair, like, I will not let you guys loot from this store. Like, they recreate that whole shit. Like, just amazing. But then they have this woman, like, she pulls out a knife, and she's still in the wheelchair. But then she's just following Darius, trying to cut him throughout this whole episode. So that whole little narrative's going on. You got Van and Earn doing this whole thing of just, like, talking about how they just don't want to stay stuck doing the same thing, which is probably ultimately them saying why they're ending the show. They don't want it to become too stagnant. Paperboy, on the other hand, is, like, listening to this rapper. There's one in the beginning, right? He says, hey, man, this rapper, that he's listening to this rapper in his car. And he's like, yo, Blue Blood just died. And it was like, Blue Blood died. And he's like, apparently he died 3 months ago, but his manager just made a statement about it. And I'm like, fuck, that sounded to me like they're hinting out about how, like, you know, who's the new guy? P&B Rock just died. All these rappers who were dead on the same label, and their labels, like, take out life insurance policies on them. And even on top of that, they then get the fucking publishing, all this shit from all these fucking artists. So I thought they were hitting at that. But it turns into something even crazier, which, it was dope, man. Y'all should go back and watch that. There's no reason to really spoil how that ends. And in the second episode, right, this is all spoilers here. I think it's called The Homeliest Little Horse. My vision is not what it used to be. I couldn't see. I know it said I think it's The Homeliest Little Horse based off of how it ended. Half of this episode, you got Earn. He's going to therapy. He's talking to his therapist and just, like, telling stories. One of the stories he tells is about how he was going back to Princeton to be on this panel, and he's taking his daughter, Lottie, and he's with Van. And this white lady working at the airport was just, like, giving him a hard time, was just like, no, we can't let you in with this. Like, can't let you in with this passport. It's too, like, something, I don't know, some issues. She was tripping. And So then they go talk to this black lady that works there, and the black lady says that lady does that all the time, the black passengers. She tries to, like, not let them on the flights. Like, she always tries to cause issues with black passengers. So the black lady then walks them through the gates and starts to walk them to the plane. But apparently, by the time they get to the gate or whatever, because she walked them past security, by the time they get to the gate, TSA is there. The white lady had called TSA, like, and it's all this issues, and they're like, "Sir, we can't let you on this flight." So he ended up not going to Princeton. Also in this, he's talking to the therapist about how much he loves spite. You know what I'm saying? He loves spite. It's one of his favorite things. And another thing that's going on in this episode, which I was like, until the end, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, who is this person? Why are they showing me her? This white lady, Lisa Mann. She gets an email from this publisher or whatever. They found one of her manuscripts online and they want to, like, publish her book. And they feel like she could be the next, like, Harry Potter or whatever shit. They're hyping her up, right? Meanwhile, this girl is, like, thirsting after her black neighbor across from her, like, staring at him through the windows and shit. She quits her job because of this email, and she meets with these people, you know what I'm saying? Meets with these people, they're saying, like, yep, you're going to be huge. And so she quits her job just to focus on making this book successful. Hiring design, like, what is it, illustrators and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Quit her job, and she wanted to just put everything into this. And then she had to do this reading in front of kids of the book. And this is something that was going to, like, really make her huge. And, you know, this whole thing is happening. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on in here? Why do they have this woman here? And she goes and she does she goes to do the reading at the library to these kids. It's a children's book. The Homeliest Little Horse, the little book about a horse. And she goes to the library with her little dog or whatever. And the lady at the library is like, yo, you can't come in here with that dog. You're gonna have to, like, chain it up outside, or leash it up outside. And she's like, no, I have a letter here, like, that says I can have it. And then the woman reads it, and she's like, no, you cannot. You still can't bring this dog in here. And the woman Lisa is like, nah, like, I work at the airport. Like, these letters are, like, approved or whatever. And she's like, well, the reading is at this time unless you want to head and try this out at the airport. So then she has to go put away the dog. You know what I'm saying? Lisa goes and is reading this book for these kids, and, like, the kids are just not into it. They're talking shit. That horse, I don't like that horse. I like this horse. This story's dumb. Like, they're just shitting all over her book, and she's just trying to get through it. They got this lady that's there that's supposed to be, like, this big-time agent or whatever to sign her to this major deal. This lady, like, ends up walking away as she's doing it, and she's, like, breaking down, like, trying to get through the story. All the kids get up and leave, like, and, like, they're just, like, filming her. This is being filmed, all right? Camera crew's just filming her this whole time, and she's breaking down, like, freaking out. And then it cuts to, like, her on a TV screen. Like, everything that's happening is on a TV screen. And it cuts, like, it pans out. They're in a bar. Ern's in a bar, and he's talking to this white guy who's actually the guy who talked to Lisa originally about, yo, you need to get an illustrator. We're going to make this book big. He's the guy who originally reached out to her. And he's talking to Ern, and Ern, like, pays him or whatever. And then Paperboy and Darius show up at the bar, and he explains to him that this woman on TV that's breaking down, Lisa, who quit her job, who said she worked at the airport, and she knows these letters are approved to bring in her animals. Lisa is the woman that would not let Ern on the plane. So Ern then found her fucking manuscript online, fucking hired all these actors to pretend that they were gonna sign her and make her book big. And he's like, yeah, she quit her job. I think she's gone in debt. I really ruined her life. He absolutely destroyed this woman's life because he loves spite, all right? This episode's fucking nuts, all right? The lady Lisa, who sits there thirsting after her black neighbor, every day at work, shits on every black passenger, tries to stop them from boarding their fucking flights, going out of her way to stop black passengers from boarding their flights while she thirsts after her black neighbor. And then gets shit on at the library by these black kids, and her whole life is ruined by Earn, man. It was some Nathan for you type shit. And shout out to Nathan for you. I don't know if I talked about the rehearsal in here. If I haven't, it's fucking great. I think I have. But this was some Nathan for you type shit. So that was beautiful. If you guys aren't watching Atlanta, we're going to talk about it every week as it comes out here. We'll talk about whatever episode happens next week. We're going to talk about it. I'll let you guys know. You guys should go back and watch it all. You know, I was going to talk about some of these pride fights, some Fedor fights. I started watching Fedor versus Nogueira 1, and as I was saying last week, man, them fucking, like, one championship letting people get kneed in the head while they're on the ground, I thought that was brutal. Then, like, right away, I'm watching fucking Fedor, like try to stomp Nogueira's face in while he's on the ground, and I'm like, holy fuck. Like, but at the same time, I'm like, I guess I see that is a deterrent to just lay on your back and try to get somebody to play that game. I guess that is a deterrent there, but holy fuck. So I realized I need to put these on here, on this camera here, and react to some of that shit, because I was like, holy fuck. Like, I was like, yo, I'm wasting it right here by just watching it. So hopefully I'm going to get you guys some content of me reacting to some of these Fedor fights, or even just like these pride fights in general, because they look pretty fucking crazy, man. They look pretty crazy. Yeah, and last thing I want to touch on here, ladies and gentlemen, man, fucking HBO's House of Dragon, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, okay? If you watch Game of Thrones, you probably had the same question like me, where are all the fucking black people? It's like only 2, 3, if you count Miss Ande, black people in that whole show. Where are my black people? Where are my niggas? If I'm the Khaleesi. Carl, since I'm a nigga. Carl, anywho. All I'm saying, where are the black people in Game of Thrones? That was a big question for me. So House of the Dragon has answered that question. There's black people in there. There's black people in there. And they are Valerians. You know how they be like, oh, Valerian steel's the best fucking steel around, but nobody knows how to make it because the Valerians are dead. This story takes place like 170 years before like the Game of Thrones time. So at some point, all the black people are going to be murdered. That's I had a dark question. Where are all my niggas? And the dark truth is that they're probably all going to be murdered pretty soon here in House of the Dragon. But what's really important, here about House of the Dragon here, right? Who the fuck writes this shit, all right? This show, is like 50% incest, like 40% creepy dudes with way too young girls, and like 10% dragons. That's what it's been through 4 episodes. I haven't seen tonight's episode, ladies and gentlemen. If Sundays are when the episodes are new, I haven't seen it. I just assume that's because that's when Game of Thrones was coming on. Motherfuckers at work was talking about it, so I was like, let me check it out. And I was like, holy fuck, this is a lot. This is a lot. Y'all niggas... And fuck, there's so much fucking niece and uncle fucking cousin, marry my 12-year-old cousin type shit going on in here. And I know niggas is like, because I had the thought for a second. I was like, well, they did say in Game of Thrones that the Targaryens, like, fucking did interbreeding or whatever to keep bloodlines pure, fucking inbred ass shit. I know they said that in Game of Thrones, but then I thought about it. They didn't say that in Game of Thrones. George R.R. Martin fucking wrote that to be a thing in Game of Thrones and then decided, hey, I'm also going to write another book to really dive into the lore of how much fucking weird shit was going on. Like, he never had to put that in there. Never had to put that little bullshit in there. Never once. He never had to have Jaime and fucking Cersei fucking... That never had to be a thing. They could have been fucking and just not related. He could have been like the king's head of Kingsguard, and it would have still been fucking raunchy for a fucking commoner or a fucking little boy, whatever, or whoever to walk in on a queen stepping out on her fucking husband. I felt like there was all kinds of ways to even like keep that going with having them being related. And my point is like, yeah, you'd go to like saying like, fuck, they did say that in Game of Thrones. No, George R.R. Martin wrote that to be a thing so that he can consistently write about this weird ass shit. This is not fucking hot. I'm watching fucking uncle and fucking niece. Uncle and like fucking 15, 17. It's weird about the timeline here. Possibly 18. Don't fucking matter how old. Niece, uncle, and niece about to fuck each other in a fucking brothel. And the only thing that stopped the uncle from fucking his niece in that brothel was that he didn't factor into the point that the niece was gonna be into it. She was really into it. To fucking her uncle at the brothel. And then he couldn't get hard because he didn't think she would be into it. He thought he was going to corrupt this niece of his. This fucking pedophile ass uncle shit. And then, oh my God. Then the fucking king, her father, is just casually talking. Like, yeah, he had him on the ground with a sword. But I was like, my nigga, you should have been throwing some punches or something. There should have been like, nigga, because he's, oh my God, he's under the impression that his brother just fucked his daughter. But mind you, and that conversation was just too casual for my liking. Too casual. And then, like, that's not even the weirdest shit here, man. The king... I'm pretty sure he was married to his cousin, another fucking Targaryen. The king was married to his cousin, but during fucking childbirth, it was like either both of them were gonna die or like they had to try to save one. So they chose to save the baby because they figured it would be a boy, but they both ended up dying. So then after his cousin wife dies, his other cousin, who's married to a fucking Valerian nigga, offers his 12-year-old daughter to marry this old-ass man. Mind you, this 12-year-old girl is his fucking niece. Or no, wait, what is it? His fucking cousin. His fucking like second cousin. Because his cousin married the Valerian nigga. What the fuck is going on here? He fucking brought her in there and tried to sell him on the point that she has Targaryen blood. Nigga, you mean you're trying to sell him on the whole incest thing, nigga? This show is fucking weird. It's fucking weird. Every time they depicted one of these weirdos like this in Game of Thrones, they were creepy, fucking Walder Frey ass niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like that fucking Kingsguard guy that went to the fucking whorehouse and wanted a way too young person to come for him. Like, all those people were depicted as disgusting. But in this fucking show, like, how are they not raiding George R.R. Martin's house right fucking now? Who the fuck writes about this shit in a way where, well, I guess I gotta just keep writing about it? If I, as a rapper, was writing songs and I'm just telling stories, but those were the fucking topics, niggas would be, like, at least side-eye me. Like, bro, why you keep writing? What the fuck are you doing? Why are you writing about this shit? I don't care you're telling, like, fake stories. Why do you choose to put that shit in your stories? It's like, I just really creative. It was a different time. I'm writing about a different time. You know, you're writing about a made-up time in a made-up realm with dragons and shit, priests and fucking shadow monsters that fly out of vaginas and go stab a nigga. That's what you wrote about. You could have put anything in there, man. Why are they not raiding this nigga's house right now? I do not fucks with what's going on in this fucking House of the Dragon show. Now, with that said, I will watch. I will watch this next episode here because I'm just interested what happens to my Valerian niggas. What happens to all my Valerian niggas? They're gonna get slaughtered. I know they have to get slaughtered. I mean, the king just said no to marrying his fucking cousin, his 12-year-old cousin. He said no to that. And chose to marry his, like, daughter's 15-year-old best friend instead. What the fuck is going on in this show? What the fuck is going on here? This is fucking crazy. Or this is fucking crazy. Why do y'all oh my god. And then when the fucking daughter, the princess, is sitting here looking for a person to marry, they bring in like a fucking, first they bring in an old man, then they bring in a little ass boy. What are y'all doing in here? She's way too young for that old ass man. And then you brought in this little ass boy. For what reason? For what reason? This show's fucking crazy. But I'm still going to keep watching. If you guys would like to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. You guys can email this podcast for whatever reason at Babylon5podcast@gmail.com. If you guys would like to hit that like button anywhere that you're listening to this, or maybe hit 5-star review, do whatever is your fancy. I'd appreciate it so much. If you guys would like to follow me on Twitch, go to head to twitch.tv/Babylon5. If you guys want to cop some merchandise, head on over to teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. And lastly, don't just be my Niji, be my patrons. Head on over to patreon.com/Babylon5Pod. And you can be my patrons today. Thank you to all my patrons, all 2 of you. You're the best. This is it for episode 161, Atlanta Forever. I love Atlanta. One of the best shows. George R.R. Martin, you're creepy as fuck. I took this out of my notes. I just copped tickets to see Louis C.K. in Chicago on Friday the 13th in January. And I'm pretty hype on it. If you guys don't know, Louis C.K. is my favorite comedian. And when he almost died in that masturbation accident, as Dave Chappelle once said. I didn't know if I'd ever get a chance to see Louis live again, and I'm very happy that I will be, and especially when that lady at the eye exam told me I was going to go blind, I wasn't sure who I was going to ever see again. But, oh, it hurts. It fucking hurts. But, yeah, I'm happy to go see Louis as long as I can see things. And, yeah, I'm happy for it. So, I didn't mean to get so depressing here, but as I'm saying this, it's more real. Yeah, but I'm real hype on that. And, yeah, I can't wait to see Louis C.K. in January, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are... Just go out there and, man, have fun. Try to seize things in life, man. Seize whatever. Chase your dreams. I'm just saying, man, you never know when you can't. I could potentially go blind tomorrow. I mean, it's not that gradual as what she said, but I'm just saying hypothetically. I better chase whatever the fuck I want right now, because you never know what the fuck's gonna happen, man. Like, it just is what it is. So I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you when I see you. I'll holla.
Chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling, chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling, chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now.